Thank you, Eric. I'm reminded actually of my late dear friend Darcel, who is also, much like you, a long-term friend of many people who have survived, who have passed, and she always shared with me that no matter what happened, she was glad to have been there and been around them and to have known them because they were important people in her lives. So thank you so much, Eric. All right, next up, please welcome David Diehnel. David is the Master Gardener in 2 states, enrolled in a 2-year study program in South Africa, training to become a naturalist and bush guide. David plans to travel to Africa to complete his certification with the goal of securing a position as a research assistant. Please welcome David Diehnel.
Thank you for coming. Ben. My name is David Diehnel. I was diagnosed with HIV when I was 30 years old, and I am now 70 years old. I am a long-term survivor. I grew up in a small village in Oklahoma across the street from a cemetery with the most magnificent elm tree that ever grew. I had personally known many of the people who rested there, their kids and grandkids, their sisters and brothers were friends of mine. It was a place of tranquil solitude for me, and it gave me the uninterrupted privilege of time to remember lives once lived. It was my touchstone to connect with the past, ponder the present, and to project myself into an unknown future, wondering what it would be like when my time came to occupy my spot in that solemn ground. The last time I visited that cemetery was on my 60th birthday to bury my beloved brother. It was a bitter cold day in February with a cruel howling wind, stinging horizontal snow biting my face, a black and white surreal dream. I was burying the last member of my family under the tree I had grown up with. Never had I contemplated this particular scenario, to be the last one standing, when for most of my life, I expected to be the first to go. I am now the patriarch of nothing and no one at all. Stop here with me. I am a long-term survivor. I moved to Portland in 1977 to attend school. My apartment was right across the street from this very church, my first apartment. I would sit on my porch and just gaze at this magnificent building. It was the first time that I was completely autonomous, in control of my own thoughts, dreams, desires, and destiny. The day I got the news I was HIV positive, I walked home instead of taking the short bus ride. I was told to go home and get my affairs in order. As I crossed the Morrison Bridge, I stopped in the middle to contemplate again the vagaries of the universe and to make a decision about what would lie ahead for me. I held the complete power to decide my future, whether to join that swift, cold water or to walk home and embrace an uncertain time ahead. But for the miracles of modern medicine, the patience of Job, and the recipient of more luck than was afforded many, I am here to speak to you with my own voice and from my own experience, to honor the bravery and steadfastness, to acknowledge their fears and to give them our thanks for allowing us to accompany them as we walked down an unsteady path, bathed in the warm light of compassion and love. To be here talking to you today is a full circle moment for me. One that very young man sitting on his first porch could never in a million years have imagined happening. But I survived to be here. And I accept that as permission to tell you a part of my story. Much time has passed since an unknown entity first raised its titanic head and commenced a plague to remember. We gather together, each of us for our own reason, to make certain that we do not forget the lessons taught out of tragedy. Whether our memories are forged hard and strong, or whether the passage of time has weathered them into a gossamer wisp, each of us holds a key to the past. As survivors, it is our solemn duty to use that key to throw open the doors so that others may get a glimpse of those we loved so dearly and still mourn with heavy hearts. It is our duty to remind others of how the disdain of society, the disregard of our government, as well as our own despair, could not overpower the pure love and devotion that united us to enter into a bloody battle for the virtue and goodness of life, to stare bravely into the face of hate and prejudice for the humanity of those unable to stand for themselves. We owe to them to take this time to remember the joy they gave us, to remember the power of community, and to give ourselves gentle permission to remember the difficult time we experienced. We remember the incredible lessons of love we were given by those who had little else to give us, and to remember to pay it forward to the world every day. Only then will their deaths and our losses not be in vain. Thank you.
I got you. Once again, thank you, David. David, I just want to say that